In the dusty dawn of Silver Ridge, Wyoming territory, a gunshot shattered the quiet. My father, Judge Elias Hawthorne, hammered a curse notice onto the courthouse wall. My heart pounded like a wild Mustang as I watched from my bedroom window, the words searing into my mind. Amelia Rose Hawthorne, age 20. To wed the first unmarried man claiming her within 7 days or be cast out forever. Exile. The word tasted like alkali and ashes. I'd brought this on myself, rejecting Victor Langford's proposal in that crowded saloon, his smug face collapsing beneath the weight of my no. Victor was the richest rancher's son in Silver Ridge, all swagger and entitlement, but his touch made my skin crawl. His love a gilded cage I refused to enter. The town exploded in gossip faster than a prairie fire. Old Widow Jenkins clucked her tongue at the mercantile, calling me the proudest belle this side of the Rockies. Cowboys like Rusty Tate snickered over whiskey, betting who'd be the first to drag me down. Pride goeth before a fall, Miss Amelia, Rusty drawled, tipping his hat with mock pity, but I wasn't broken not yet, staring out at the windswept plains. I felt a storm brewing inside my fury, fear and a defiance sharp as barbed wire. Mother begged me to wear my emerald gown. For dignity, dear, she pleaded, her voice trembling like aspen leaves. But I chose a plain brown calico, braiding my hair tight. I would not parade like a prize heifer. Suitors swarmed our doorstep like locusts. Sly outlaws with gunslinger grins. Weathered miners, stinking of whiskey and dust. Even young Billy the drifter, his hands shaking as he stammered his claim. Father dismissed them all with icy precision, his eyes glittering with something cruel waiting to twist the knife deeper by the 7th day. My legs felt carved from stone as I stepped into the dim chapel. Cigar smoke hung thick, Reverend Harlan's frown deepening the shadows. The sparse crowd knows Mrs. Ellis and her whispering daughters sat hungry for my humiliation. And then I saw him. Elijah Kane, the quiet livery hand I'd glimpsed around town, his tousled brown hair shadowing eyes the color of a coming storm. His vest was mended with care, his posture humble but steady. There was no triumph in his gaze, only a calm that unnerved me. "I do," he said, voice low and rough as distant thunder. Father's glare burned holes in my back, but Elijah's eyes held no chains, only an unspoken promise. "I do," I whispered, my voice trembling like a match in the wind. He didn't seize or gloat. He simply lifted my wrist and kissed it softly. The chapel fell silent, stunned. Father shoved a small pouch of coins at him, sneering, "Break her spirit if you must." Elijah's jaw tightened. "Yes, sir," he replied evenly, though his eyes flickered with quiet fire. We fled into the blistering sun, the wagon creaking beneath us. Pulled by a stubborn horse named Dusty, my trunks had already been sent ahead. Father's final cruelty. The trail snaked through seas of sagebrush under an endless sky. Silence pressed between us until Elijah murmured, "Ain't far. Roof holds. Springs pure. Milk cows steady." Simple words, but they steadied me. For the first time, I felt the weight of fear start to loosen. His homestead stood on a bluff logs silvered by wind and years. A chimney sturdy against the sky, vines blooming defiantly along the porch. Inside was humble perfection, a wooden table, a black stove, a chair by the hearth, sunlight glancing off curtained windows. He set my trunk gently by the wall. "Bedroom's yours. I'll take the loft," he said. Then, quietly, wed by law, but I take nothing unoffered. That night, the wind howled like lost souls across the plain. Coyotes called from the ridges. I lay awake, fear thawing into something fragile-hope. Who was this man, offering me space in a world that demanded surrender? Dawn came with rooster cries and the scent of bacon. A note waited on the table, scrawled in a careful hand, livery till noon, biscuits warm, coffee hot. I burned my fingers on the stove, trying to follow his recipe, cursing under my breath until he returned, patiently showing me the draft that slipped through the cracks. Over meager stew, he asked shyly, "You read fine?" "Right proper." I signed my name, but I crave more trade work for tea. His voice was soft, uncertain, like a man unused to asking for anything. I looked at the rough carvings on his shelf, tiny wildflowers chiseled with care. A life lived quietly, not without beauty. "I'll teach you," I said. "No trade needed." He smiled then, slow and real, the kind of smile that could break a drought. Lessons followed, chalk dust, laughter, the scent of wood smoke, and promise. "A for apple," I'd say. He'd grin, "A for anvil," and something deep within me began to stir as shadows lengthened across the prairie. I found myself wondering, could this forced union heal what pride and cruelty had shattered? Outside, the wind shifted, carrying the scent of rain, perhaps mercy at last for the parched heart of Silver Ridge.